You ready?
Yeah.
It's cold out here, buddy.
So what's up, guys? We are back with another video. Before we get started, go down there, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you'll never get snow in your eyes.
I don't think that'll prevent it, but today's video is sponsored by Simply Safe, and we'll tell you more about that later, but we've got more pressing issues right now, Houston. So as you can see, snowmageddon, snowpocalypse, polar vortex, all those crazy words everybody's putting on YouTube right now has begun. And yesterday morning it was about 20 degrees, and I decided, or I didn't decide, but I had a goat decide it was time to have babies during the polar vortex super cold blast. It never fails, does it? Animals like to have babies at the worst possible time. And yeah, and we'll go check on them, but there's more to this. I've got to get water to all the animals when it's like right now it's in the teens. We got down close to single digit temperatures. Water is one of the most important things for livestock. Obviously keeping them out of the elements, having a place for them to stay out of the snow if they want to is important, but water is very important, and getting them water becomes a chore. But Houston,
What?
I say we go check on this mama goat first.
Yeah. Dad, it's really not a chore to get water when you can literally just get snow in your totes.
Well, they can't drink that very well, buddy.
Just unfreeze.
So yesterday morning, about 8 o'clock, this lady here decided it was a good time to have babies. And it was extremely cold. They were born in this little hut, but I didn't film a lot of it because I wasn't sure if they were gonna make it, and it was more important to take care of these babies and get them to survive than it was trying to document it. So I apologize we didn't catch any of it on video, but when I first came out here, 2 of the 3 were struggling pretty bad. Like, they were on the ground still wet. She was trying to clean them off, but when it's 20 degrees, there's just only so much she can do. One of them was up walking around, so we took 2 of them in the house, put them by the wood stove, and started getting them warmed up. And I came out and milked a little bit of colostrum out of her. Fingers are hanging out of my gloves and my fingertips are about to freeze. But I milked a little bit of colostrum out of her and took it in the house and got them up and going, and they all 3 survived. They're doing great.
This one was the main one.
Yeah, that one right there, that light color one, was really struggling yesterday. But she's doing a good job. She's keeping them out here in this little hut, and I put a lot of hay in here. I had probably 6 or 8 inches of hay built up in here yesterday for kind of a deep bed, just to give them some insulation from the ground. They've kind of matted it down overnight, but hey, these little Kiko goats are tough, aren't you? Now, if you'll notice this doe, I want you to see something, Houston. See how her ears are, it looks like somebody trimmed the tips of her ears and clipped them like that. So when we bought this goat, she was actually born during a storm just like this, Houston.
Really?
Yep. And the owners that we got, the folks that we got her from, said, you know, they were born outside, maybe not in snow, but in temperatures about like this, and her ears got frostbit when she was a baby.
What does frostbit mean?
Basically frozen.
Really?
Yeah, but she survived, and she decided to have babies in the same fashion that she came into the world during one of the coldest storms we've had in years. But they're all doing good, so let's leave her alone, Houston, and go see if we can get water to the animals, because everybody's water is frozen for sure.
Yeah, I want to show you.
Look out, Tina. You got snow on your back. There's Bear. You staying warm with the goats this morning? So I do have a frost-free hydrant. However, when it's in the teens, clearly it's frozen solid. I hope it doesn't destroy it. So I've been trying to get water out of the barn from the inside. I had to rig something up in there, Houston.
So as I said earlier, today's video is sponsored by SimpliSafe. SimpliSafe is an incredibly reliable, effective home security system that ships directly to your door. You can order it online or on the phone, and their call center will alert the police if there's anything that ever goes on at your house. It costs about 50 cents a day. There's no hidden fees or contracts or anything like that. Now, we've had a SimpliSafe system here for several months now. They sponsored a video or two several months ago. We got everything all set up. And you know what's really cool about SimpliSafe is you don't have to have a professional to come in and install it. It literally ships to your door, and you can put up all the sensors. There's window sensors, there's door sensors, glass break sensors, freeze sensors, water sensors, carbon monoxide, smoke alarms, security cameras. I use the security camera around here a lot. I'll have to grab my phone and show you a clip, but I can always check on the animals when I'm gone. There's a doorbell sensor. Not that anybody rings our doorbell, but I can at least look when I'm not home and see if someone's at the door if they do decide to come ring the doorbell. Keypad locks, all kinds of stuff. Now, like I said, this is just one layer of security. I feel like it's important for my family with what we do to kind of beef up our security around here, and that's why we're installing that new gate at the driveway. We have game cameras that are motion censored that send text messages to my phone if someone comes down our driveway, and obviously the SimpliSafe stuff. So I think it's very important that we protect our family, and in the specific situation that I'm in, with people knowing who we are and what we do and my history in law enforcement, I think I need to step it up a little bit to protect my family.
SimpliSafe on. Home. Warning. Patio door. Entry sensor open.
So as you can see, SimpliSafe does a lot of cool stuff, just like telling me that my patio door wasn't shut all the way. When you arm the system, it'll tell you if there's an error, if there's a warning or something's going on. And if anything ever happens, SimpliSafe will call police dispatch and have police to your house in no time at all. So there's a lot of cool things that come with SimpliSafe for such an easy system to install. You don't need all the professionals, don't need all the contracts and all that. So if you're interested, visit simplisafe.com/armfamily. Check them out and see what you think. Let me know. How many of you guys out there have a SimpliSafe system already installed? I'm kind of curious because it's getting really popular here in my area. So back to the video. Now the last, I don't know, 4 or 5 days, we've not gone above about 25 degrees. So all of my outside hydrants are pretty well froze up right now, or basically just buried in insulation so that they don't freeze and bust. But I do have water in the barn. Set up a heat lamp to keep it from freezing in here because it's about 20, I think it's 29 or 30 degrees in here right now. But for the last 4 or 5 days, I've been hauling water in 5-gallon buckets from here to the animals, which with the goats, it's not a big deal. But with 3 cows, they drink a lot of water. And I will say this, it is extremely important to make sure your animals have lots of water when it's below freezing. I'd almost promise you my animals are drinking more water right now than they do in the summertime when it's hot. Having plenty of water helps keep that rumen going, and they're constantly eating hay, trying to build heat basically, and having that water helps push everything, break everything down, and build that heat in their rumen, and they drink a ton of water. So instead of hauling from buckets now, I come up with another idea just to try to save me a little bit. So this PEX line comes out of the ground into the shop right here, and it's for an eventual sink, but I just rigged up a fitting so that I can put a water hose on here and at least stretch a water hose through the barn and be able to water the animals that way. Well, no water. The water hose is not frozen up. I took the water hose in the house last night because I didn't want it to freeze. All the rest of my water hoses, it seems like no matter how much I drain them, they still don't drain all the way. And then ice forms in them, turn the water on, clogs them up. However, oh, this is going to be a long day. Now, that water hose is not frozen. Couldn't get any water to come out, so back up to where I started at. And as you can see, like I said, I was concerned about this freezing, so I put a heat lamp on it yesterday. After I used it, it was working just fine. And watch this. Turn the valve on. No water. That means our water line, I got a drip. Means our water line is frozen probably at the edge of the slab. I got a few drips to come out. This is going to be a long day. So if I can't get this water set up, thawed out, that means we're going to be filling buckets at the house and carrying buckets to all the animals. It's going to be a long day. Let me rephrase that. It's not going to get above freezing for the next 5 or 6 days. It's going to be a long week. What's up, Whopper? Where's Butterscotch? Oh, there she is. Hey, I got y'all some fresh water. Better come get it while it's still cold. What's up, Whoppy? Come on, Lucy. You can do it. Nobody's home there. Well, my morning chores are completed, finally. It took about, I don't know, 50 times longer than it should have. And I know a lot of you are live in much colder climates than I do, and you're way more prepared for this. Southern Oklahoma, it doesn't stay below freezing this long, like maybe once every 4, 5, 6 years. And according to the inaccurate meteorologists, they're saying that this cold front is the longest stretch of cold we've had in like 15 or 20 years. So it's miserable. I don't like it. I don't want to live in Minnesota, Michigan. It's get above Kansas and it's all Canada to me. It's all just cold. It's the Arctic. So I'm not a cold fan. And obviously having to haul water in the back of the Kubota Sidekick to water the animals at least twice a day, probably 3 times a day, because we're gonna have several nights below 0, and it's too cold for that. I mean, I can remember as a kid making fun of my dad's mustache freezing up, and it's a weird feeling because it's happening to me now. But anyways, I'm gonna go in the house and get warm, build up the fire, at least hang out for a couple hours. We're supposed to get a lot more snow over the next couple days, so we'll see. I don't know, but anyways, huge thank you to Simply Safe for sponsoring today's video. They're an awesome company. Go check them out in the link in the description box. And it's cold, my lungs are hurting, and I don't like this temperature. I don't like it at all. So guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Y'all have a great day, and as always, we'll see you on the next video.